What if you're being lied to on purpose? A modern aircraft, 2 engines, both shut down, seconds after takeoff. An accident, a technical failure, or was it deliberate? The world is told pilot suicide, case closed. Really? No mayday, no final words, no warning signs, no manifesto, nothing. Both pilots, dead. No testimony, no defense. Convenient, isn't it? And then, the black box goes directly to the USA, not to India, not to a neutral authority, straight to Boeing, to GE, to the NTSB. So the data was downloaded, then it was passed on to India, but who exactly was present during that process? Who verified the chain of custody? And honestly, who guaranteed that nothing was altered? We just don't know. Now just think about this for a moment. Why is a switch that shuts off all fuel not better protected? I mean, no cover, no alarm, no delay timer, not even a second confirmation? This isn't a car we're talking about here. It's a $200 million Dreamliner. And here's the part no one wants to say out loud. If it's Boeing's fault, billions are on the line. But if it's a suicidal pilot, it's just PR. So ask yourself, who benefits when a dead man is blamed? What if the switch wasn't flipped by hand, but triggered by a faulty electrical signal? What if a software bug issued the cutoff command, completely unnoticed? What if a mechanic introduced the fault deliberately before takeoff? What if the pilots were exhausted, just ignored by the airline? Or what if someone actually wanted this plane to go down? What if the truth is simply too expensive? What if we're sold a neat tragedy just to cover a deeper scandal? What if we're being lied to? Again, think about it. Would a trained pilot really shut down both engines 20 seconds into flight without cause? Or is that just the easiest story to sell?
On June 12, 2025, Air India Flight AI171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, crashed over Ahmedabad, India. The flight, bound for London, carried 242 people. 270 lives were lost, including those on the ground. The cause wasn't weather, fire, or terrorism. It was something far stranger. Both engines were deliberately shut down just after takeoff. The preliminary report confirms the fuel control switches for both engines were moved to cutoff manually from inside the cockpit. No engine trouble, no fire, no warning, just sudden silence. Investigators from India, the US, Boeing, and GE all agree the engines didn't fail, they were turned off. This has left the aviation world stunned and searching for answers. The crash site, a hostel for BJ Medical College, added 19 more victims on the ground. Only one passenger survived, gravely injured. Families and the community are left with heartbreak and questions. How could this happen? Why? The world's attention is now on the mystery of Flight AI171. The search for answers is about more than this tragedy. It's about the safety of everyone who flies. The silence that fell over Flight AI171 is a warning. The truth must be found. The final moments of Flight AI171 were recorded in chilling detail. At the 13th of August 39 UTC, the Dreamliner lifted off from Ahmedabad. 3 seconds later, the left engine's fuel switch was moved to cutoff. 1 second after that, the right engine was also shut down. In a single second, the plane lost all power, just a few hundred feet above the ground. The crew tried to restart the engines, but there wasn't enough time. A mayday call was sent, but the aircraft was already falling. The plane crashed less than a mile from the runway. The entire disaster unfolded in just 34 seconds. The data shows what happened, but not why. A routine takeoff became one of aviation's most baffling tragedies. The world is left with a question. What could cause such a catastrophic sequence? The answer remains elusive. At the center of this disaster are 2 small switches, the engine fuel controls. Located between the pilots, each switch has a protective guard and requires a deliberate 2-step action to move from run to cutoff. These switches are designed to prevent accidental use. Normally, they're only used during maintenance or a dire emergency. For both switches to be moved to cutoff within a second is almost unthinkable. Investigators have ruled out accidental bumping or a loose object. The switches require intent, 2 separate deliberate actions. Was it a mechanical failure, or did someone act? the investigation is focused on whether the switches or their guards were faulty. The design is meant to be foolproof, but something failed that day. The switches, meant for safety, became the instruments of disaster. The cockpit voice recorder captured a brief, frantic exchange after the engines shut down. One pilot demanded, "Why did you flip the switch?" The other denied doing it. There was no sign of emergency, no checklist, no warning. Both pilots seemed shocked and confused, not coordinated. The data shows the switches were moved, but the voices suggest neither pilot did it. No sign of trouble before the shutdown, just sudden chaos. The mystery deepens. If neither pilot acted, what did? Investigators are torn between two theories. First, catastrophic pilot error. One pilot, for unknown reasons, shut down both engines. This would be an almost unprecedented failure of human performance. Second, a system failure, mechanical or electrical, making the switches move or too easy to move. In 2018, the FAA warned of a possible flaw in the switch locking mechanism on some 787s. The crashed aircraft hadn't undergone the recommended inspection. Could a faulty switch have caused the disaster? Both theories are troubling. Either a human error that defies logic, or a design flaw with global implications. The answer lies in the wreckage and in the switches themselves. The world waits for the truth. 1 month later, the cause of Flight AI171's crash remains a mystery. No weather, no bird strike, no fire. Just 2 engines shut down by the cockpit switches. Experts are examining the switches for defects, while human factors teams review every detail of the flight and crew. The final report may take years, but the stakes are enormous. The Boeing 787 is a cornerstone of global aviation. If there's a hidden flaw, it must be found. For the families, this is about justice and preventing future tragedy. The world's trust in aviation depends on answers. The tragedy has shaken that trust. Only the truth, however difficult, can restore it. The search for answers continues.